Hey guys, Martin here bringing you a Dragon Ball Z Dokkan battle video, and so today we're going to be taking a look at another one of the World Tournament EZAs, which is the Physical Mighty Mask. Now, this guy is a unit that even when he released and like when he subsequently got his awakening, has always been in a very weird spot because of how they chose to design this character. Like, for example, when we get the Great Saiyaman units, the game still obviously recognizes that that is Gohan. So he's on like Goku family, you know, the Super Saiyan 2, Great Saiyaman is on Super Saiyan 2. Whereas these guys, as we all know, of course, Mighty Mask, or at least in this iteration, is Goten and Trunks. And as you can see from the art and from one of their links, they are Super Saiyan in this particular form, right? So Goten and Trunks in the costume, in Super Saiyan. They have the Super Saiyan link. They're not on the Super Saiyans category, nor are they on the Hybrid Saiyans category, nor are they on the Joined Forces category. So it's a weird one where the game is, I guess, just recognizing that it is the character Mighty Mask, who is, as far as we know, just some normal dude, right? And they just took his costume. So they're on World Tournament, Boo Saga, tournament participants, but they're on Earthbred Fighters, which, like Goten and Trunks obviously would be. I guess the guy who is actually Mighty Mask would be as well, but it seems weird that they differentiate, like they actually give them the Earthbred Fighters category, but they don't have Hybrid Saiyans. They don't have the Super Saiyans category, even though they have the Super Saiyan link. Very, very strange. And then their link set is also very weird, right? Super Saiyan, and then we've got World Tournament Reborn, More Than Meets the Eye. They've got Flea. Like, you know it's bad when you look up the best link partners list for a character and the highest number of links they share with a single other unit is 4, and that's only one character, which is like the AGL Super Saiyan 3 Gotenks from Heroes, who, funnily enough, they don't share any team. Well, actually, I guess they would probably both be on Earthbred Fighters, but yeah, kind of a weird one. So in terms of 200% leads, they only have one, which is the World Tournament Goku. So that's the team that we're going to run them on. They do greatly raise attack and defense for 1 turn on their super. They have a medium chance to further greatly raise attack for 1 turn, and then obviously they do supreme damage. So we'll obviously have to see when we get like a couple of different attack stats from them how that varies, because of course the game doesn't give you any actual visual indication as whether they got that extra attack buff or not. So we'll just have to see from the attack stats they get, right? So they get attack and defense 200%, additional attack and defense 150% when facing only one enemy, then they get an extra 50% attack when performing a super, additional attack and defense 10% when performing a super, and chance to crit 10% per tournament participant's ally on the team. Then they evade enemy attacks, including supers, for 1 turn when HP is 60% or less once only, and after that turn they have a great chance to dodge when HP is 60% or less, and they automatically dodge and get guaranteed crits whenever your HP is 30% or less for that turn. So when it comes to the tournament participants allies, obviously we've got a few of them on the team here, but not all of them are, just because, you know, the team is already kind of weird as it is, but we'll see how we get on. One of their better link partners here is the Super Saiyan 2 Great Saiyaman, who's another World Tournament EZA. So we have Super Saiyan Shocking Speed and Shattering the Limit. They have 281k defense. So bear in mind, with everything we can see that they do, they don't get any extra defense. Well, they get the 10% when performing a super per tournament participant's ally. So that's going to be what? The 2 Gokus, the Krillin. Does this guy count as tournament participants? I think he does, right? He should do. Yeah, so that's what, 4? It doesn't say self-excluded either, does it? So yeah, so 5. So they're going to get 50% on super. So they're going to get 50% from their passive on super, which is like another 140. So they're going to go up to about 420. And then obviously they get the greatly raise on their defense as well. So they go up to, what, like 560, just over 550, something like that. But bear in mind, aside from having the dodge when you're on low HP, they don't have any other defensive mechanics. So if we're talking out, even on a good turn, like with the allies, if they're capping out at around 600k defense with no other defensive mechanics, that's obviously just not good enough for current meta, like, difficult content, right? Like here, for example, we really need Boo to either super Krillin or not super. So 8.2, I mean, that's not the worst, I guess, right, for a free-to-play unit. They tank the normal attacks for double digits, which is fine. And we didn't get supered. Okay, that's good. So we've got to remember that attack stat, because we have to remember now, that was either them with the additional greatly raised chance or without. So, of course, it won't be until we see a different attack stat that we know for sure, right? Because if we just get the same attack stat next turn, it's because we got the same either proc or not proc. So we need to see when they actually... Oh, of course, you're sealed. I always bring Senzu Beans for this event in case, like, the showcase units get sealed. And, of course, Goten and Trunks did get sealed on the first turn, so I've already used one of them. So I'm not going to unseal this Goku here, even though it means he doesn't get any stacks. At least on the first turn, we have guaranteed guard. That's the other thing with this team as well. Like, this is their only 200% team. And Tech Goku, like, there are circumstances where he could still be decent. But even on release, like, I had issues with this guy in the difficult content at the time. If you weren't getting the guard, right, like runs against the Metal Cooler Core from the Wicked Bloodline Red Zone, where he'd get supered at the end by the core and not guard and then die. So there are certain events now you probably could still get away with running him, especially if the boss is going to be AGL at the end. Then obviously you don't really need to worry about that guard chance as much. But yeah, that's the other thing with these guys, right, is they're already kind of wonky to fit on teams because of their links and the categories that they're on, which is very few. But yeah, they have one 200% leader who is, at this point, you know, I would say not super, like, meta relevant. So Krillin can probably stay sealed, that's fine. So if we do this, we can grab this, and then we can grab the STR orbs for Bulma. So we've got 236k. We've got no links active on this turn though, so we'll go ahead and do that. Get that little bit of support from Bulma. That's good. Full dodge build Krillin coming in clutch there. I mean, he's only going to take double-digit damage anyway, but you'll love to see it. Gets a crit on the normal attack as well. Let's go. And then 7.3. So we've got support from Bulma. Last time we had support from Super Saiyan 2 Saiyaman. And last time we had links active, which now we don't. So I'm going to assume that we're around the same level, right? Because we lost about 1 million worth of the attack stat, but that's likely due to the lack of links. Because Super Saiyan, Shattering the Limit, and what was the other one? All give like a little bit of extra attack. So I think we're roughly around the same level. So we either did or didn't get the extra 30% from there, or extra 50% I should say, from their super attack effect again, but hard to know for sure. So let's get you floated off here. We're going to eventually get... Bulma is going to be on this rotation with Goku, so we have both the Gohans floating so that they can provide links to the physical Mighty Mask. But considering like the hoops we have to jump through, like I say, just to even get the link partner for them, and then if they're... Oof, he didn't guard, but fortunately we didn't take too much damage. Everyone else on the rotation should be able to tank normals relatively well, at least not enough that we should get killed here. And we still have the Senzu Bean, obviously, regardless of whether my mask gets sealed or not. But yeah, I mean, this event is a little bit longer and not as tough, but it gives us a good showcase to see the numbers and everything from this guy. But I feel like if we, I mean, this team especially, like this specific build, if we took this team into a much harder event, it would be an absolute nightmare. Because even like this high school Gohan, right, they definitely, it feels like they held back on his easy A. He could have been much better. He's not like bad, but he doesn't stand up to like the biggest, toughest bosses. Okay, yeah, he takes double digits, that's fine. And Mighty Mask gets sealed, because of course he does, right? So I guess we will... You do share... Oh, he doesn't share any links with Goku either. Jeez. Alright, well, I guess we heal here. So we got 236 start of turn. I mean, we probably just have to do this, don't we? So we'll do that. Get those for you. What are you at? You're at 540k. Okay. So we'll do that. He didn't get the guard. See, this is what I mean. This Goku and his being a liability here. So now we've got no support on the rotation and no links active. So last time we saw, what, set around 7 mil with no links, but we did have the Bulma support. So if we get a higher attack stat than last turn, it means we did finally get the proc for their super attack and we didn't before. If we get a much lower attack stat, then we obviously didn't get it. Or did get it before, but didn't get it now. Does he live this after getting the supers off here? Oof, just. 6.8. See, again, that's around the same as last turn. So unfortunately, we continue to not really have any information because we've gotten around the same numbers, like all 3 turns, which means we got the same result. We either did or didn't get the extra from the super attack effect, but we don't know. Good times. So, I mean, if that's with them not getting it, then I suppose that's okay. Because one of the things, when I did the breakdown video yesterday, talking about all the World Tournament stuff that was coming out today, one of the big things that we said about them is, you could tell straight away their defense was never going to be anything that crazy. So, with the way their passive is and their, the bad links and everything, the only way they would really be good or like be useful on a team is if they're hitting big numbers. And so, in terms of attack power, right? So if the highest that we've seen is just over 8 mil, and that is with the extra proc from their super attack effect, then obviously that isn't very good, right? If that's without it, then it means it has the potential to jump up a little bit, potentially even over 10 million. But again, that's not necessarily like good enough. Also, this is a really bad rotation, and now we have no items, so we're just gonna have to do this. Which means Goku's going to get killed, and then we're going to revive, so we're not going to get to see Mighty Mask do anything on this turn. But we'll do that. Try and get a little bit of HP back here, but yeah, it won't make any difference. So get KO'd, get the revive. I haven't seen this for a while, so. But now we have to get through this turn. Get back to... do I just keep you on the rotation to get the heal? Yeah, I feel like that's probably, given the situation we're in now, probably the best idea. So get the heal. Give everybody the extra buff. And then do that. Alright, so we should be good here on the turn. Can do a decent bit of damage with Bulma as well, thanks to getting all the orbs. But yeah, I mean, I feel like you can see what I mean, right? Like this unit, World Tournament EZAs have been very hit or miss. This one definitely feels like a miss. It's something that we've talked about in the past with like certain characters or the way they design certain units. If you're going to bring out a character that is on very few categories, doesn't have the best links, their passive requires them to have certain kinds of allies on the team with them as well. Like, if you're going to put all of those restrictions up for a unit, then make them really good, right? Because if this is like the only 200% team that they have, like we're only going to be able to run them on one team. And you can run them on teams under a 170 lead or less, of course. It's going to be tougher, but like if they're only going to be on one team, make the unit really good. I've always said, right, I don't have a huge issue with units being restricted to only really being good on one team, even if they're really, really good on that one team that they're on. Whereas these guys doesn't really feel like they are worth all the hassle, right? So Super Saiyan and Shattering the Limit, we're getting some support from you. I think we'll just put these guys in slot 1 and see what happens. We're getting the Dokkan attack. We've got support from High School Gohan. Can we actually get a vastly different number this time? So the Dokkan attack is 8.6 again. So again, we've gotten basically the same attack stat every time. So good stuff. We either did get it every time or didn't get it every time. I have no way to know. I thought, if we got a decent sample size, we could get at least one. Because it's a 50% raise. So it should be a significantly noticeable number, right? And I'm not sure as well, if they get an additional super, if it didn't proc on their first super, I'm assuming it can on the second one. because it's part of the super attack effect, but I'm obviously not 100% sure. We've seen them additional once, and then attacks that went up a little bit, which is understandable because it's the greatly raise. But yeah, no way to really know if we got the extra or not, which is unfortunate. I mean, we can probably get one more turn in with them here and see how we get on. But I mean, we have, like I say, hit pretty much. We've had differing rotations with like links and support and stuff like that, but for the most part, we've hit around the same number every time. So kind of difficult to tell. But like I said, if their only use is to be thrown on this team so that they can do some damage, just consistently hitting around 8 million isn't really that great when you consider this Goku having the Earthbred Fighter's leader skill. Like, there are so many other units we could put on the team in their place who would be better, right? And that, I think, is the main issue. Which is a shame, because again, like, these World Tournament EZAs, very hit or miss. Considering how like old these units are, I know they're free to play, so maybe that is a reason why they kind of hold back on some of them sometimes, but considering how difficult it is to get some of them if you don't have them as well, you kind of have to rely on the tickets from the banner. Obviously, the World Tournament where they get their EZA, you can get guaranteed copies of them by beating the missions. But if you didn't have the unit at all, you're only going to be able to get 2 copies from the missions, right, from this World Tournament if you don't have this physical Mighty Mask. And I mean, this is them at Rainbow level 10 links. So at 55% or like 1 dupe, and especially like pre-link leveled, they're not going to be hitting numbers the same as this, and even these numbers are not, you know, it's not particularly impressive. So a little bit disappointing with these guys. Like I said, if you're going to restrict a unit to being on a very small like group of teams, make them good. Like, give me a reason to actually run them on the team. If they were giving support even, like, I feel like the best World Tournament units are the ones who ended up like being support units who then are relatively good defensively, because then you have a reason to throw them on the team. Give everyone else support. They've got a decent bit of defense or some sort of defensive tech to back it up so they don't just get instantly killed, and then you've got a reason to run them on the team. But Mighty Mask, like, the only thing he's really doing is damage, and he's not really doing a lot of it, right? So let's go ahead and do this. Get this one last turn in here against Buhan. Bear in mind as well, with this team being quite on the slow side, like, this event is not... I mean, the first 2 phases, I guess, do have the most HP, but with this many turns in, we're only on the 2nd phase. But yeah, what have we got from Mighty Mask this time? You can attack lower this phase as well, so this guy's been absolutely nerfed into the ground. 8.6. See, that's with the support from the High School Gohan, but yeah, I don't know. Is that with the proc and last turn wasn't? I don't know. We actually have some... we don't get any links with Krillin, so yeah, I don't know. For the sake of throwing them on a team where they don't really fit super well, and our reward, I guess, for doing that is like, you know, an 8 million attack stat, and then a defense level that certain bosses, they won't even be able to tank normals. So yeah, I can't say that I am particularly impressed with this EZA for them. Oh, well, that's not what we're meant to do, so we're not going to get the support for you. I think we'll just call it a day there. We're not going to see anything else out of these guys, I don't think. But yeah, let me know what you guys think of the physical Mighty Mask. I mean, I would be surprised if anyone has any differing opinions about these guys, but let me know your thoughts down below. What would you have done for their design to make them a worthwhile unit? Obviously, you know, the categories thing is just weird, not recognizing them being Goten and Trunks, but it is what it is. So let me know your thoughts down below in the comments section. So that is going to be it for the video, guys. This has been the Masked Ningen. Smash that like button, subscribe to the channel if you are new. Check out the links down below, and I will see you all again soon. Have a good one.